It is 2 a.m. You are lying in bed, phone brightness turned all the way down so you do not wake your partner. You open a private browser and type, "Why does my dog eat poop?" Not because you are ashamed of owning a dog, but because you do not want that search in your history. Here is the thing. You are not alone. Thousands of people are Googling this exact question right now, along with two others just as baffling. Why does my dog shove their nose into people's crotches at the worst possible moments? And why do they find dead, rotting things, then rub their whole body into them like expensive cologne? Your first instinct? Yell. Pull them away. Buy bitter spray. I have been there. But treating these like obedience problems makes them worse. These three behaviors, laced, obsessive, sniff, they are three parts of the same biological system. A chemical language running for 15 million years, and we have been accidentally fighting it. Today, I am walking you through the shame triangle, why these exist, when they signal real problems, and how to manage them without breaking your dog's biology. There is a guide I made that maps this out. I will show you where to grab it at the end. I am Tommy. If you are back from last week, thank you. If you are new, welcome to Mindful Canine. This is Mac, currently sprawled over the AC vent. I am not a vet or certified trainer. I am the guy who spent $300 on an indestructible crate knack opened in 2 days. I read research, talk to frustrated owners, and share what worked when everything else failed. You will see AI animated visuals when we hit the biology sections. I use those because filming bacteria is not practical. All right, let us talk about the three behaviors most of us have Googled in private. Welcome to the Shame Triangle Framework. Let us begin. Let me paint three scenarios. 1. You are in your backyard at 6 a.m., coffee in hand. Your dog approaches a fresh pile like it is a 5-star breakfast. You yell. They ignore you. By the time you get there, it is gone. Now they want to lick your face. 2. Your coworker visits. Your dog bypasses the polite hand sniff, shoves their snout directly into your coworker's lap. You are mortified. Your coworker is frozen. Your dog, unbothered. 3. Beautiful hike. Perfect trail. Your dog finds the one rotting thing in 50 miles and scrubs their neck into it, like they are applying luxury cologne. Here is what we share. Your dog is gathering data, not disbehavior, not being spiteful. They are running a biological program that has been operating since before humans figured out agriculture. We call these the shame triangle. You feel shame because you are interpreting through a human lens, using eyes and logic. Your dog is using something entirely different. Perspective. Humans have 6 million olfactory receptors. Your dog, 300 million. Dr. Alexandra Horowitz, a canine cognition researcher, uses this analogy. If you detect a teaspoon of sugar and coffee, your dog detects that same teaspoon dissolved in 2 Olympic pools. That is peer-reviewed science. And the brain portion dedicated to smell, the olfactory bulb, is 40 times larger than ours. While we navigate visually, reading faces and expressions, your dog navigates a world made of invisible chemical data. When your dog eats waste, they are absorbing microbial information. When they sniff crotches or rears, they are reading chemical profiles. When they roll in rot, they are wearing data. 3 pillars. 1 system, absorb, read, wear. The question is not, how do I stop this? It is, what is my dog? Find me when all 3 show up together, because that is when the shame triangle becomes a red flag. Let us look at the first behavior, Coprophagia. Let us start with the one you Googled in private. Your dog eats poop. I will not sugarcoat the frustration. It is one thing in your backyard. Another when you are at the dog park. Look away 3 seconds, and your dog is consuming someone else's donation like gourmet truffles. Then they want to lick your face. Most people assume, my dog is missing something in their diet. Better food. Supplements. I thought that too. Switched Matt's food 4 times in 6 months, spent a fortune on premium kibble, added pumpkin, probiotics. Nothing changed. I was solving the wrong problem. UC Davis researchers, led by Dr. Benjamin Hart, surveyed over 2,500 dog owners. What they found dismantled everything I knew. First, 16 to 25% of all dogs eat stool. That is 1 in 4 to 5 dogs. Not rare, species typical. Second, they tested every variable. Diet quality, 0 correlation. Anxiety, 0. Age, 0. Expensive grain-free or basic kibble did not matter. Anxious or calmed, young or old, behavior showed up anyway. But here is the key. 90% specifically target fresh stool, less than 48 hours old. They ignore older waste. They are selecting with precision. 1 is 48 hours? That is when parasites are harmless. Wild wolf packs face constant intestinal parasite threats. When infected pack members defecate near the den, parasite eggs are initially safe. But after 2 days, they embryonate, mature into infectious stages that reinfect the pack. So wild canids eat fresh stool before that window closes. The stomach acid neutralizes eggs before development, sanitizing the den without anyone getting sick. Not dietary deficiency. It's a hygiene protocol running millions of years. Your dog is not broken. They are executing parasite control programming their ancestors needed. Second part, Coprophagia also functions as natural fecal microbiota transplantation. Your dog's gut hosts trillions of bacteria, partners, not parasites. They digest food, synthesize vitamins, regulate mood, communicate with the brain through the gut-brain axis. When disrupted, from antibiotics or diet changes, the system destabilizes, digestion breaks down, behavior changes. Eating stool, especially from herbivores, rapidly repopulates gut bacteria they cannot produce themselves. Not appetite, microbial medicine. Scientists studying Brandt's voles prove this. Preventing coprophagia collapsed gut bacteria diversity. Cognitive function declined, body weight dropped. But giving those animals acetate, the compound from the bacteria they would have eaten, reversed everything. This is not about poop. It is survival. Here is what frustrated me with Mac. Almost nothing works. UC Davis evaluated every commercial deterrent. Bitter tablets added to food, a 0 to 2% success. Leave-it commands, 4%. Yelling, 1 to 2%. Only citronella collars showed success in one small study, but by overwhelming smell entirely, temporarily blinding their primary sense, not fixing behavior. Reality, you cannot train out biological imperatives hardwired DNA. It is like training humans not to blink. When something flies at their face, you are fighting 15 million years of evolution with a spray bottle. We need to stop treating this as training and start treating it as biology. Let us move to the second behavior, obsessive sniffing. Second pillar, the one causing public mortification. Your dog aggressively sniffs crotches or locks onto another. Dogs rear, refusing to disengage even when the other dog is annoyed. You are yanking the bat, apologizing to strangers. Mac once cornered my landlord in the hallway for 15 seconds, conducting the full background check. Pretty sure my rent went up. Here is the disconnect. Rudeness, lack of manners. But your dog is reading a resonary, a chemical CV telling them everything about who they are dealing with. Dogs have 2 angle sacs beside the anus. When defecating, a stool pressure squeezes these glands, releasing oily fluid onto waste, a chemical signature, biological stamp. For many years, scientists thought this was just lubricant or basic curatorial marking. Then metabolomic profiling completely changed everything we knew. The fluid is not generic. It is complex volatile organic compounds, VOCs, encoding hyperspecific DOBs, rear or scent marks. They retrieve information: sex, age, reproductive status, immune health, diet, genetic, relatedness. Mind-blowing part, your dog does not make most of those smells. Bacteria inside anal glands do. UC Davis researchers used DNA sequencing to map bacterial communities in these glands. They found bidavidid bacteria acting as chemical architects, fermenting gland tissue and synthesizing complex fatty acids, ketones, esters. They built the scent profile on your dog's behalf. The profile is sexually dimorphic. Males and females produce distinctly different signatures. Researchers identified specific markers appearing only in female secretions, unambiguous sex indicators. When your dog locks onto another's rear, they are not weird. They are reading a data file with male or female, young or old, healthy, related. Humans project heavily onto this. One exhausted owner said their male dog was the Harvey Weinstein of dogs. That is anthropomorphism, assigning human motives to animals gathering chemical information like checking LinkedIn before meetings. But it creates real problems, especially target. Why worse with people? We lack anal glands producing VOCs, but apocrine sweat glands, armpits, and groin release different signals. To doves with 300 million receptors, those areas broadcast alligator. Dog height matters. Small dogs sniff shoes, annoying but manageable. Medium to large breeds, sighthounds, labs, shepherds. Nose positioned at exactly wrong height, prime butt sniffing level for every human. Coworkers, strangers, your mother-in-law on Thanksgiving. Nobody is safe. Solutions? Pulling dogs from scent marks on walks is snacking books. Dead sentence. You are severing environmental connections. They need reading time. For dog readings, 3 to 5 seconds is polite. Longer, recipient dogs issue corrections, snaps, growls, tail tucks, normal communication. For humans, redirect. Teach hand targeting, sniffing hands instead of crotches. You are not suppressing data gathering needs, just redirecting to socially acceptable targets. This behavior is not rude in their world. It is fundamental. Identifying individuals, assessing threats, building bombs. We find it uncomfortable. That discomfort is on us, not them. Let us examine the third behavior, scent rolling. Third pillar, the emergency bath scenario. Perfect trail, off-leash dog living their best life. Then that body language, they stop, sniff intensely, shoulder drops. Before you yell, no, they are writhing joyfully, scrubbing into something unidentifiable. Damage done. Dog smells like actual biological decay. Now you drive home, windows down, emergency bath while they look at you like you are unreasonable. Mac found a rotting fish carcass once, rolled so thoroughly I stopped at a pet store for industrial shampoo. The cashier took one look, one sniff, and nodded. Snoo. That's one part. Happens right after baths. 30 minutes scrubbing, drying, making them smell like lavender. 24 hours later, they find the foulest thing in 50 miles and coat themselves. Feels personal, spiteful. But spite requires moral frameworks dogs do not have. They have fixed action patterns, FAPs. FAPs are instinctive sequences hardwired in nervous systems. Volatile organic compounds. They run to completion involuntarily. Your dog is not choosing. They are executing programming. That program has been running since before dogs were dogs, directly from wolves. 4 theories, all probably true depending on context. Camouflage. Wolves are ambush hunters. Approaching prey herds, they face a problem. Prey have sensitive noses. Wind shifts carrying predator scent. Entire herd bolts. Solution? Roll in herbivore feces or carcasses. Dr. Stanley Korn explains. Prey standing in fields are already surrounded by their droppings and decay smells. Background noise, not threatening. But canine predator scent triggers immediate flight. Masking natural scent with familiar prey smells lets wolves get closer before detection. Not about smelling good, about smelling invisible. Your dog does not hunt anymore. You feed them. But instinct is preserved, waiting for triggers. Information sharing. Wolves cover massive territories cooperatively. Lone scouts discovering valuable resources. Dead elk too big to eat alone face a problem. Telling the pack where it is. Cannot bark directions or draw maps, but can roll in it. Scouts coat fur in carcass scent. Bring data back. Packs around scout, sniffs intensely, decodes chemical information, species, freshness, distance. Social structure becomes decentralized information center. Scent marking. Some think rolling is not taking scent, it is leaving their own. depositing biological signatures, craning resources, warring rivals. They like it. Dr. Patricia McConnell's research highlights genuine physical joy when rolling, relaxed muscles, classic smile, writhing ecstasy, post-roll invigoration. We assume offensive smells because they are offensive to us. But disgust is learned human emotion. Infants are not born disgusted by decay, they are conditioned. Dogs lack that framework. Rolling is not punishment, it is expensive cologne, sensory stimulation, aesthetically pleasing in their world. You cannot train it out. It is a FAP. Once triggered, sequence runs. Interrupt attempts fail. By the time you see shoulder drops, it is too late. Leave from known areas. Watch body language. Redirect before triggers. This is not failure, not a bad dog. A 15 million-year-old program doing what it is designed to do. Individually, these are just instincts. Annoying, frustrating, but not dangerous. Problem: when all three appear together, suddenly, intensely, in dogs who did not exhibit them before. That is not instinct. That is a red flag. Constitute the series with DE, integration. Here is where the shame triangle becomes diagnostic. Dog occasionally eats stool, sniffs aggressively, rolls sometimes. Just instincts. Evolutionary holdovers, creating friction, but not dangerous. But all three suddenly together in a dog who never did this? 5-year-old dog, perfectly normal their whole life, suddenly obsessed with eating waste, aggressively targeting every crotch and rear, rolling in anything pungent? Not instinct. Your dog's biology screaming for help. When all three activate simultaneously and intensely, it points to one thing: microbiome collapse. Your dog's gut hosts trillions of bacterial partners doing 3 jobs: AVLers, fermenting food, producing protective fatty acids, synthesizing neurotransmitter precursors regulating mood and cognition, between gut and brain via vagus nerve immune system hormones. When disrupted from antibiotics, diet changes, prolonged isolation, parasitic infections, the system destabilizes. Bacterial diversity drops. Protective fatty acid production plummets. Intestinal barriers become permeable, leaking endotoxins into bloodstreams, triggering inflammation that overactivates fight-or-flight systems and alters brain chemistry. Behavioral consequences? Heightened reactions to sounds, increased clinginess, obsessive environmental focus. The shame triangle. Your dog is not choosing these behaviors. They are trying to fix the problem. Eating stool repopulates gut bacteria. Obsessive sniffing seeks data to make sense of suddenly unstable worlds. Rolling in strong sense provides intense sensory stimulation, temporarily overriding internal discomfort. Not spite. Not bad behavior. Compensatory biology. Red flag versus normal instinct. 1. Sudden appearance or always there. Puppyhood behavior equals instinct. Abrupt adulthood onset after antibiotics, diet changes, or major life events equals red flag. 2. Escalating intensity. Occasional sampling versus obsessive multiple times daily seeking. 3. Other changes. Digestive issues, appetite changes, skin problems. Cognitive decline. Gut-brain axis likely involved. 4. All three at once. Key indicator. One behavior equals instinct. All three together, suddenly, intensely equals system self-correcting. The protocol. 2-week framework I built with my vet. Week 1, Keith environmental management. Cannot fix microbiomes while dogs keep reinfecting. Eliminate accession. Clean yards immediately after defecation. Multiple dogs, separate during bathroom grits. Walks, short leash in waist likely area. Vigilance, watch body language, redirect before shoulder drops. Sniffing, teach alternatives. Hand targeting, touching hands with noses instead of lunging at crotches. Weak clear cast microbiome support. Address root causes. Work with vets introducing high-quality, veterinary-grade probiotics, not human formulas, dog-specific strains with research backing. Pair with prebiotics, fiber-feeding good bacteria. The beer dysbiosis? Some vets offer fecal microbiota transplants, SMT, introducing healthy bacterial communities from donor dogs. Hounds extreme. Research is solid. I mapped everything. Fred's Loud Champ list, 2-week protocol, management strategies into a visual guide. Single-page reference for phones or printing. Want it? Drop BOD in comments. I will send it directly. No links, no email lists. Just comment, get the dad. Because bad owners do not Google at 2 a.m. Do not watch long videos trying to understand. You are here because you care. That matters. These behaviors feel shameful because we are taught well-trained dogs do not do them. That if your dog eats waste, it reflects your failure. That true. These are 15 million years old. Predating obedience training, premium kibble, every spray bottle. Your dog is not broken, not spiteful, not embarrassing you on purpose. They are speaking a chemical language we have spent generations silencing without learning what it means. What I wish someone told me 3 years ago, standing in my backyard furious at Naki. Frustration is not dad. Ownership science. It is training science. That is what matters. Carrying guilt around these behaviors? Let it go. You did not cause this. You are here learning, researching, understanding their world instead of just punishing. That makes you exactly the owner your dog needs. Next week, something more misunderstood than the shame triangle. A facial expression dogs make, usually indoors around you, almost everyone gets wrong. Panting, open mouth, pulled back corners. You think they are smiling, happy. What if it is the opposite? One of their most reliable distress signals. We have completely misread their entire lives. We will break down what is actually happening, why it shows up indoors without feet or exercise, what your dog is really telling you next week. For now, be their peace and they will be yours. Take care of each other.